Good morning, I am Gaurav and today I bring you some recipes from the kitchens of Novotel Imagica. It's a beautiful looking morning today and we're at the poolside and I have some guests coming today afternoon. The dish that we're trying to do today is called the prawn and pumpkin curry. But to give it a little twist, today we put some oranges and that's what goes in the marination of my prawn and pumpkin curry. I'll show you the ingredients before I move on to the recipe. We have some pumpkin, some onions, some mustard which has been soaked in water for about half an hour. We have some poppy seed which has been soaked for about half an hour in water, cold water. Now this becomes one of the most important ingredient here. You can see these fresh desiccated coconuts. There is some dried shrimps. So what we are trying to do is get two types of prawns in the curry. One is the dried and one is the fresh. The dried one goes in the making of curry. The fresh one would be the actual pieces of the prawn in the curry. Now we have some ginger, some spices, and I have a little mix of spice here. This has got some mustard seeds, some cumin, some fennel and some onion seeds. So before we move ahead with all these recipes, we will take the prawns. These prawns have been deshelled and cleaned, but the only thing I've still kept in the prawns is the tail part. The tail has got some lovely flavor, it gives beautiful crunchiness to the prawns. This is something which I did not want to miss. So I have some king prawns over here, as you can see. We take these prawns and give it a little marination with some fresh mustard oil. I just opened it from the bottle, that's why I'm calling it fresh. Put a little bit of salt, then I put a little bit of turmeric. Now goes my magic ingredient, the orange rind. Now these are fresh oranges. The actual flavor of the oranges comes from the skin. The juices are more sugary, but the skin has got the real flavor of the oranges. So I'm just going to put a little bit of the orange rind. Make sure you don't overdo it, as orange skin has got a very strong flavor and a very dominating flavor. The whole idea is that these prawns over here, the king prawns, are infused with the flavor of oranges. Generally a citrus juice is required to break the smell of the seafood. Most of the time lemon have been used, and that's where we are trying to bring a little twist in our recipe by using some oranges. Food is best marinated with hand, so I don't want to use anything else but a set of glove to marinate these prawns. So now if you see, we have some nice mandarin color oranges with a bit of turmeric and the orange rind, and we'll keep it in one corner for resting for a while. Now the next step, we put a couple of ingredients over here which has already been soaked in water, like the dried shrimps, the mustard and the poppy seeds. So we take a mixer grinder, take a bit of everything. Now because you have soaked this in water, this has become a little soft and the grinding becomes easy. Put a little bit of water. These are the poppy seeds going in, the soaked shrimps, the dried shrimps. These have got more intense flavor than the big prawns. So when you actually have the prawn curry, you will have a paste of prawn, dried shrimps in the curry, which will give it a beautiful flavor. Now the most important ingredient are the coriander roots. When it comes to coriander, the roots have got more stronger and intense flavor than the leaves. And we are talking about flavors, as you see I've been saying different flavors. These flavors complement each other. We are trying to bring some flavors which gel well with each other and trying to put them together. So I'm just going to drop in some coriander roots, a bit of leaves as well. One green chili, put the green chili inside. Put some garlic, peeled garlic in the mixer grinder. A little bit of ginger, a bit of turmeric and a little bit of salt. Now we go to our mixer grinder and give it a nice blend. We put some coconut. The fresh desiccated coconut are not put before because the more you grind this, it would leave more oil. And the more oil it leaves, it's going to become rancid. And then we have a nice fine paste. It's a beautiful yellow color paste with a little taste of coconut, the shrimps and the coriander. And now we go ahead and start doing our pumpkin curry. We take a nice non-stick pan, make sure it's nice and hot. Take some mustard oil. Now mustard oil becomes the most important ingredient because it has a very different flavor than the normal groundnut oil or a sunflower oil. And that is what we want to get in our curry. So you swirl the oil in the pan, make sure it's coated from all the sides. And there I go with my spices. Now this is a mix of cumin, fennel, onion seeds and some mustard seeds. This is the first thing I put. Once it begins to crackle, I go ahead and add a little bit of ginger. Now you take all the onions. These onions have been chopped very fine Because if you see the consistency of the gravy is quite fine, but at the same time not a puree. We are not looking at a puree because we want a bite of the shrimps and the coconut when we have a curry. At this point, I add a little bit of sugar. The sugar caramelizes and then it makes the color of the onions a little more brown and beautiful. Don't worry, it will not make your curry a sweet curry. We have enough spices to balance that. At this moment, we add some pumpkins. Now pumpkins are a very beautiful vegetable. They have got natural sweetness to itself. If you have a nice orange pumpkin, then I would request you not to peel the skin. The skin becomes very soft and it gives a good sugary flavor, a soft flavor when you roast it. Pumpkins are considered to be very hard vegetables, but it cooks very fast. At this moment you add a little salt. Salt always helps in cooking the food a little faster. And if you put it early, the absorption of the salt in all the ingredients is faster and quicker. At this moment, if you're cooking food at your home, you can go and pour yourself a beer and put the music on because it will still take a few minutes. Pour a little bit of water. So there we go. The pumpkins have been on the pan for about 10 minutes. Once the pumpkins are cooked, it's very easy to break. And there you see. It's softer than potatoes when it's done properly. There it is. I would now put the prawns that have been marinated for a while. And don't leave these juices. These juices are very important. There you go. Now let's have these vegetables coated properly with the prawns. I would leave it for another 2 minutes. Prawns cook very fast, but don't overcook the prawns. Keep turning it once in a while. In the meantime, I have removed the paste from the mixer grinder, and as you can see, it's a lovely, beautiful yellow paste that we have with mustards and coriander roots. Now we can see the prawns turning a bit pink, getting a little more stiffer, and it's getting cooked. The moment this is done, we leave the gravy in the prawns. And now we start mixing it slowly. Wow. I still have one more ingredient left which I have not put. Finish this dish with that ingredient, and that's some fresh coconut milk. And here our dish is ready. Now we are ready to plate it. I have some rice over here. It's mandatory to have it with rice. A roti would not go that well, but rice, and please don't use fork and spoon. Use your hand to eat this dish. Now I take some nice big pieces of prawns. I keep it on the side here. Take a spoon, put the pumpkin on the sides, put a little bit of gravy. Now I have some fresh mustard cress. I break this, put some on top for garnish. I take a spoon of the coconut milk and soak the rice with coconut milk. Now the rest of the prawn curry, put it in a nice dish, side dish. Put some fresh coconut and leave a nice sprig of coriander on top. So there you have prawn and pumpkin curry with rice, and I've put some extra prawns on the side. So please enjoy making this at home. It's a very quick and easy recipe, and I'm sure it's a delight for seafood lovers. Thank you so much.